Welcome to Meet Me in the City, a podcast exploring music through the boroughs of America. Joined as always by my two buddies, Shawn and Dan. Boys, how we doing?
Do it, Shawn.
I'm really good.
Are you really good?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm good as well.
Sprinkle is always behind the board, making sure we're getting recorded and keeping everything straight. Today, special episode for us. We have the co-operator. Is that the right title?
Sure.
Sure.
Partner, owner, co-operator.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to go off some of the recent interviews that were out there,
Yeah.
and I want to make sure I get the terms right. Matt Davis from Rockathon Records. Matt, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Good, man.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
coming out, man.
Yeah, thanks,
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us. We were talking a little bit before we got going. Matt has a mutual friend of all of ours that we've known for, he's known him longer, but we've known him for a couple of decades ourselves, and Mike Richley. So shout out to Mike for getting us a connection and getting you here with us.
I believe it's pronounced Rudasuckle.
Mike Rudasuckle.
Roy Scholl. Is there a Mike Roy Scholl? Present.
That's
Mike knows your voice well enough to know, so
absolutely.
you could just keep saying whatever you want about him.
Yeah, he was my roommate in college. So
Amazing. Yeah.
he's who I learned how to do 15-minute naps.
Oh.
Yeah, so he was in architecture at UC, which is top 3 in the country, right?
Yeah.
And the first semester is a weed out period, and we would, be normal old school room with two beds in it, right?
Yeah.
Nothing crazy, and he would come back from being up all night working on this project or whatever. He would come in the room and said, "All right, give me the cook's tools," and it was a little timer, like for your kitchen. And he would set it for 15 minutes, and he would sleep. I mean, he'd fall asleep that quick. He'd wake up, take a shower, and then go back to the studio.
Oh, mackerel.
So to this day, almost 5 times a week, I take a 15-minute nap.
Wow.
So thanks, Mike.
Jeez,
Thanks a lot. Rudasuckle.
Rudasuckle.
That's
Mike's
great.
a great guy.
He is a great
Wee
guy.
kid.
And he's come up on the podcast a few times, so we're grateful for connecting us with Matt.
Yeah.
Matt, why don't you just start us off by giving us a little bit of your background? Where are you from?
Sure.
Went to UC, obviously. We've heard that much, but
Yeah, so my dad worked for NCR for 40 years.
Okay.
So,
Wow.
I grew up first few years of my life up until 77 on Wilmington Pike and Bellbrook, and then we moved to Oak Creek, in Kettering.
okay.
So my parents are still there.
Oh, wow.
Right? And I went to Incarnation, 1st through 8th grade, oldest of 5, and then decided that I didn't want to go to altar, and my parents didn't want to pay for it. And I'm like, that's fine, that works out.
Yep.
So I ended up going to Fairmont.
Okay.
Wow.
Very good. Were you into music from early on?
Yeah, in getting ready for this, because it's not like I do 100 interviews, I was thinking about
No, that's why we're
what
really
does anybody-
grateful that you did this one.
What does anybody really care about, and maybe it's nothing. But, I was thinking about, how I got to this point of being able to work with Bob for 25 plus years now.
Yeah.
And, where does music start, right? It starts in your house growing up, right?
Yep.
So I've had different phases all the way through where a lot of it was, driving to the hardware store, get my hair cut with my dad, and it's yacht rock, right?
Right.
Yeah.
AM radio, a lot of yacht rock. Get a little bit older, and your friends start to become more influential, but also going to Oak Creek Pool or going to Old River, right? They're playing TUE,
Right.
or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Z93 or whatever it was at the
Z93.
time, and so then I'm listening to absorbing that, right? And at Incarnation, as we get a little bit older, I was the oldest of 5, or still am, and so I had no other sibling influence, right? So no punk rock, no heavy stuff, right? So it was just what I was absorbing naturally, and some of my friends started getting into, because they had older brothers. It was early days of MTV, but Police and Van Halen, U2, all of that, right? So then middle school, that's kind of what we were all listening to, was what was popular from those bands, and Guns N' Roses come in, and hair metal. I never really liked. I got into Rush.
Oh,
right?
wow.
So Rush is my kind of my first love,
Yeah.
right? They'll always be my first love.
Hey,
Right?
they're getting back together. They're touring again with
exactly.
that female
Yeah.
drummer, Nina. She's
Have you
awesome.
seen her play?
Oh, my gosh, she's good.
Yeah. Now, the problem is with live music, I mean, in general, not to get too sidetracked.
You're good. Sidetracks are-
But the ticket prices were complete bullshit.
Yeah.
They had
Yeah.
all that goodwill. The fans were like, okay, she can do it.
Yeah.
You know, and then they roll it out, and it's $600 a ticket.
Is
And
it?
all
How
the
much
surge-
really?
No, a lot of them were surge pricing. But then Detroit, they announced additional shows because it's that Ticketmaster bullshit surge
Yeah.
pricing crap,
Right.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then when they announce the additional shows, the tickets are the normal, still expensive, but not what they were.
That's
Yeah.
Right.
insane.
So yeah, coming up through high school and tons of Rush, and in early college, and you know, in high school, we got into metal, so saw Metallica on the Justice for All tour. But Cult opened up, and we loved the Cult.
Oh, yeah.
yes, dude.
That would have been awesome.
So that was probably
The
88.
Cult opened up for Metallica?
Yeah, at Riverbend.
Whoa.
I caught a pick from Metallica too.
So that's like, and Justice for All is what, 88?
88. So it would have been spring of 88. I think we went.
Was that the Love record, maybe? That was
After that, because I think that was
was
that
after
85?
That's 85.
It was after Love. It was
But before Sonic Temple?
It was like Fire. No, it's before Sonic Temple. So it was what was one with like
the one in between
Fire
that we haven't
Woman,
named. Yeah, yeah.
with the brown and kind of silver color.
Man,
Yeah.
I
They were
never
great.
saw Cold. I love the Cold.
Well, we had
man.
like 20 of us. You know, all these high school guys. You know, we had drinking beer and stuff. Somehow, I don't know how we did it. Right?
They just didn't care.
The
then.
way that you do. That's how
the
you
way,
did it.
the way that we do.
Don't
And,
drink underage, kids.
yeah, exactly. I'm not
If you
promoting
can't
that.
help it.
Not the kids
I'm
listen
not
to
promoting
this.
that anymore.
Anymore.
Only when I
'Cause
was younger.
stopped.
That's correct. But we were like nobody else was there for them, or very few people were.
Ugh.
So we were in a front row of a section. And like towards the end of the show, was it Ian Asbury? Is that his name?
Yes.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
points out to us, and we're like, "Yeah,
Wow.
it was like the greatest thing in the world. Yeah,
there.
he knows who we are." You know?
Where was that at?
At
Do you remember?
Riverbend.
Riverbend.
Yeah, Riverbend.
Wow, that's
it
amazing.
was great. So I went to Van Halen 5150 tour.
I saw
Wow.
that tour in Cincy. Was that in Cincy?
at the old Xavier's old arena, the
Yes.
Garden.
Yes.
Yes.
I was
Cincinnati
there.
Garden.
We saw Iron Maiden there. When here's one for you.
Yeah.
So when Megadeth opened up for Iron Maiden, the guitar player was Jamie Young, who graduated from Fairmont High School.
Really?
Wow.
Not Jamie, Jeff Young. Jeff
Young.
Jamie was his brother that we were friends with.
Huh.
Wow.
I didn't know
Yeah.
that. Wow.
I
That's
think Jeff
insane.
graduated maybe like 87, 86.
And he was in
something like that.
Megadeth?
Yeah, but he, from what I remember, he didn't party, and that's when Dave was really
Off the
going at
rails.
it. And he was in the band for I don't know, maybe a couple years, and then
This
So-
is, kids, why we do this. We have these
Exactly.
conversations to learn things about things that we did not expect to learn things about.
But I could just be making shit up, and if I
And-
say it
Hey,
with enough
we
enthusiasm,
believe you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
people
Right.
will believe
They will.
you, right?
If you
No,
say it
that's true.
enough over and over,
Right.
it's
You ever,
truth.
you ever thought about being a politician? 'Cause,
Yeah.
I would advise against that, but you choose your own path.
Yeah, so music's been a part of everything, since
Yeah.
early on. And, then getting into college, I graduated high school 89.
Okay.
Right. So we're at the end of hair metal.
Yep.
Metal is still
a
there.
weird time.
Metallica is rising and
Yep.
that stuff, Anthrax. And, you had the Anthrax, Bring the Noise,
Yep.
a
Yeah.
collab. Right.
With Public Enemy.
Public Enemy, which is
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Yes.
And,
That was my number one get for Christmas that year was the Public Enemy Apocalypse 91, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's
Great
on there.
record.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, then it was also the Anthrax had the tape.
Yeah.
I got the tape of it was an EP that
Yeah.
had it on there
Okay.
too.
Yeah.
So that's how we got it more through the metal route
Yeah.
rather than the rap because
Yeah.
I was not into that at all. Minus Beastie Boys, which I'm not sure counts, but that was required if you were
They're
Yeah.
good.
Right.
a white kid in suburban America.
Yeah, yeah.
At
you
the
know,
time.
you have to fight for your right to
I
party.
did. And I did, and that's how we got the beer into the cult
See,
Metallica.
there you
That's
go.
right.
There
It
you
all is
go.
the Beastie Boys did that.
Just comes
Right.
around.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Thanks, Beastie Boys.
Thanks, Mike D.
You made sure I fought for my right to party.
Do you remember the first album you physically bought? CD, tape, whatever.
Yeah. So my mom was very spiritual. She's very religious, but not in a way that's like overbearing. But So when I went, we went to New Jersey when I was little, and my cousin Kevin had Kiss Alive with the tattoo. I mean, I remember that tattoo on my arm, right? That was a huge, because it was yacht rock up until that point. It's soft rock or some jazz my dad had, or, Herbie Mann kind of. And I'm looking at this album, I'm like, what in the hell is this? And then I get, I'm like, oh my God. And it had all the stuff in it and the Kiss Army shit, right? And so I was like, I got it. And they're like, absolutely not, because it's good for knights and Satan service, of course, right?
Yep, right.
The horrible Satanists that they are. Now, I mean, there was a picture recently that tells me they might be, but we won't get into politics. All right. So then soon after that, Queen hits with
The other one bites the dust.
No. We Will Rock You.
We
Are the Champions.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
so
yeah.
that blows up, and I'm allowed to get that album.
Oh, nice.
Really?
So I get that album. So News of the World was my first album.
Oh,
which,
man.
by the way, is the most, I don't care if it's Cannibal Corpse or Slayer, that is the most frightening album artwork to
Is
this
that the robot
day.
looking thing on the front?
The robot has
Yeah.
no emotion, but the painter who did that, all the emotion in the people's faces, they're screaming and terrified, running away.
my gosh.
Yeah, look it up, man. It's
I
horrible.
have it at home. I have to pull it out when I get home.
Really look at it.
Yeah.
It's like, and I was probably it's 7 or 8 at the time,
Yeah.
8 or 9 at the time, whenever that was, however old I was. So everything was fine because the music is, We Will Rock You and We're the Champion. And then my mom saw what the cover and the artwork was.
She's like, nah,
Kiss.
not today, Matt.
It was thrown away.
Really?
Wow.
I mean, you're standing in a long line of music fans who have had music confiscated, taken away, broken, thrown away.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a badge of honor, right?
I guess so.
It's
I'd still
Queen
like to
now.
have that first. I mean, I bought it again. I was still scared.
Yeah.
40 years old or whatever I was. So, and then the second one was probably a tape of Lionel Richie. I accidentally got. Well, I probably from the Columbia Record Club.
Yeah.
Right? Like it got included.
I was a big Lionel
this
Richie
is it.
fan. So.
Hey,
You can confess here.
Running with the Night. That
That's a great cut.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be an accident.
Ooh, that's my
Dan's
karaoke.
karaoke cut. That's a great song.
But again, that was something that was all. I'm like, okay, well, I kind of,
Yeah.
So that it's all that, there's all those transitions in there of what you like, and as long as you're open to listening to something different.
Well, I think that's what, and we've talked about this before on the podcast, is that time in the 80s when MTV's playing everything from here to here.
No genre specific stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, there were programs, but
you're getting all kinds of music. You're not getting just one. You're strictly metal. You're strictly
Country.
You're
we didn't
strictly
get no
R and
country on
B.
MTV either.
But
point
that's,
stands.
I think that was an amazing time because anything from Wham to Whitney Houston to Metallica
To Beastie Boys.
to Beastie Boys. I mean,
To the Fabulous Thunderbirds. What year was that?
there
Like,
you
where
go.
the hell did that come
86,
from? This
maybe?
70-year-old man, like,
I know.
Tough enough. Are you
Are
tough?
you tough
Hey,
enough?
dude. I do. All right. I love that stuff. I love it. I don't
Oh
care.
man.
But interjected into Michael
know,
Jackson.
I know,
U2.
exactly,
Like,
yeah.
how the hell is this a thing?
Right.
Speaking of Michael Jackson and Lionel Richie, I was just watching that documentary on We Are the World.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's good.
It's amazing. I mean, the whole thing's amazing, seeing that room, but I just think it's funny that Michael always called it, he said, Lionel. Lionel.
Like the train set.
Yeah, Lionel. It's so weird.
100%.
He can.
That documentary is incredible. Just watching I'm a huge Bob Dylan fan, but watching Bob Dylan in the middle of all those, like
He's
that
so
seat-
uncomfortable.
Oh, dude, he just he couldn't get out of there fast enough. But it's very endearing then watching the whole thing when Stevie Wonder helps him find the notes and brings him over and he gives him a hug and you're just like, oh man, this music's amazing.
Well, and they did it with no sleep. Like they were at that Ward show all
Right.
the time, and then they go into that and
Until like 6 a.m.
before text, before they had to make phone calls and say, "Are you going to be here?"
Right.
Like Bill Murray today, if you want him in your movie,
Right.
Like
Yeah.
you got to leave him a
Exactly.
message and maybe he shows up.
Maybe if you're lucky.
Sorry, I didn't
So
mean to
when you-
derail all
No,
that.
where was I? The 90s?
Yeah. So yeah.
So when you were in college,
Well, but one thing I do want to pause and say though, that one of the things is we've talked to people from Dayton that are themes that come up industry in town. You said,
Yep.
family worked at NCR.
Yep.
And the other thing, so that's not the same. You didn't have an older brother or sibling or something,
Correct.
but you had friends who did. And so there's always someone putting people onto music. So you had that in your life.
100%. And like my cousin George went to Fairmont as well. He was a little older than me, and he loved Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
Right. So he got the final cut.
Okay.
Which it's something different for me, probably because of that connection and how I looked up to him. Yeah. That's something other than music for me. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it like not everybody likes it. A lot of people actually hate it and they think it's terrible. Yeah. But there's a song on there where he got it for Christmas and he had this new stereo, and we're over at the house and everybody's, the big family, Catholic family, 37 people in the house. And there's the song that has the explosion, right?
Yeah.
And he turns it all the way up. And I watched my parents and my aunts and uncles shit their pants at the dining room table, thinking that it actually had a bomb, like a bomb went off.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So then I'm like, well, Pink Floyd is interesting, so I'm starting to getting into, because I didn't get into the Wall right when it came out or anything like that. But soon after, right? So Pink Floyd was huge.
Okay.
You and I must be the same. I graduated 89 as well, Tip City, but that same trajectory. How do you say that?
Yeah. You got that.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what so that's what I was getting to is going into college in the early 90s. It was like, so I remember driving to my job sophomore year, and Smells Like Teen Spirit is on the radio, on the radio. The first time I heard it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and that, I mean, I know it's been said by people way smarter and more, a lot more intelligent with the music industry than me, but it's been said that in that split second changed everything. It just completely changed what I was interested in. Then it's Soundgarden and Pearl Jam and, the Afghan Wigs were local, right? And so all of that opened up to, all the sub pop stuff. And then, wait a minute, hold on. There's this, it doesn't have to be huge.
Right.
Shoved down my throat of one of 6 bands all the time, right? And I loved Zeppelin and Beatles and The Who by this point, right?
Sure.
Got it, but for the new stuff, it's like, what is this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that, so I have friends who are younger, like 7, 8 years younger than me. I'm a couple years younger than you guys. But I was
always has to bring that up.
I'm like the second youngest person on this podcast. Sprinkle down here, holding us down in the technology.
A lot on you.
He's got a lot. But for people who are, say, between Sprinkle's age and my age, they don't. Some of them don't get the Nirvana thing, and I'm like, I don't know if it's just a matter of the moment and just having to be there and being through the '80s and MTV and Pop 40 radio, and then that hitting. I don't know if that's it, or if it was just that whole movement was a revelation and a shift. Matt, what do you think?
It's as like many things as a combination. I think what I mean. Like I think there was built up frustration with just glossy horseshit hair metal.
Oh,
you know what I mean? And so then you get. You get Metallica sneak in with one.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. And it's okay. That, and then you get, because that was, obviously before the Black Album blew up. Right.
Right.
But so there is that moment there. And Nirvana was so anti or seemed.
Yeah.
But they were a representation of multiple bands that were like that.
Yeah.
Right. It wasn't, they just happened to hit. And then Alive comes out, and then
when you had other bands who were bubbling, Mudhoney, and these other Dinosaur Jr.
Meat Puppets, all that stuff, right?
But it was so. I think it was rawer. You know what I mean? It wasn't so.
I
mean,
mean,
it was produced, but it was so raw.
Correct.
Right.
That's exactly that's what I was trying to say. It was more honest. It felt more authentic than something like, and no offense if you like new country, but AI is going to do new country here soon, right? You guys have seen the YouTube video of the 8 songs overlapped, and it's the same fucking song.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah.
And like I like old country. I like Billy Strings. I like bluegrass stuff.
Yep.
Right? But that formulaic, non-authentic music in any genre sucks.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's boring.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there was, going back to the 80s. Oh my gosh, he just left my Howard Johnson. Hojo. Anyway,
Only his real fans call him Hojo.
Did he have an orange roof?
He did. How'd you know that? His light was always on. I don't know if you know that. Oh,
The fried clams are good.
Said nobody ever about the Howard
Dream Into
Johnson.
Action came out, and it didn't do anything. And then
Phil Collins.
Phil Collins produced
Plays.
it and put all these drum machines and all this kind of, and it ruined the album, but then it took off because everybody wanted to hear that formulaic, just like you said. And I just don't get it. So that was the 80s,
The 80s was overbrought.
Oh, delay
production
on
and-
the snare drum and I
yeah.
mean just everything. And I think that's when Nirvana came and just again being so raw,
Yeah.
just stripped it all down
Yeah.
and emotion in there. Anyway,
So sophomore year, you're driving to work.
Yeah.
Nirvana comes on.
Yep.
What happens next?
Go to the record store and it's not out yet.
It's not out yet.
oh man,
And he's like, "You're like the 10th person to come in here." So we had, UC has both, the Vine Street there, right?
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Short Vine. And so there was a bunch of head shops and
Yes.
CD stores,
Yeah.
different CD stores,
Yeah.
right? Mostly. I don't remember. I wasn't collecting vinyl at the time. And Bogart's obviously was there. And then Sudsy Malone's. I was supposed to see Beck at Sudsy Malone's right when
wow.
Loser came. Yeah. And he got sick. And Sudsy Malone's is what.
Tiny.
Do you remember what that is?
yeah.
Oh, yeah, I've
Small-
been there.
yeah.
I've seen
Well,
shows.
I was
I
never
played there one time.
It's a laundromat.
In the back with a laundromat, and then
Right.
it was like a bar, smaller. Let's just call it the size of Old Canal Street.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe about that
Yeah.
size.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Maybe if you could pack in maybe 150 people.
Yeah.
Okay. And it had a little stage, and Beck
was
so
gonna play
Losers
there.
on MTV. We're like, holy shit!
Yeah.
And we go down there, and they're like, it's canceled. He had to.
Oh, that would have been
got sick.
awesome.
Oh man,
He may have also walked in there and went, no.
right. I'm on MTV.
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah.
I'm sick that I
I
got to
had
play
the
this
clams.
game.
Yeah, I had the clams at Howard Johnson's on 75, and now I can't
all
get
she
off the
wrote.
toilet.
On the way up to Detroit or wherever his next stop
Yeah,
was.
like, get me out of this freaking dump.
Jeez.
But then everything starts to change, and I saw Pearl Jam at Bogart's
Oh really?
on the 10 tour. Okay,
Jeezy Pete.
we saw.
And you were living in the right place at the right time.
100%. And then now I'm, remembering all the shows I didn't go to.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
right.
For $18, I'm like, what
I know.
what I could have seen, right?
Yeah.
But we saw a lot of great shows. Urge Overkill was
Yeah.
incredible.
Wow.
Sonic Youth. What was who did Gin Blossoms opening up for Toad the Wet Sprocket? Now,
Really?
Nice.
I mean, that was kind of like on my periphery, right?
I like Toad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I saw them
at
in
the
Columbus.
time. It's very
Right.
collegey, right?
Oh, yeah.
I'm not embarrassed to say that. But walking out, we got a cassette for Hey Jealousy. Because it wasn't even on the radio yet. And now,
Really?
I mean, think about how big that's
Right, yeah.
right. So there was a lot of shows. Hell, Nirvana played in a bar. I think is it not Daniel's Pub, but there's another one down the hill towards Cincinnati. And it was when Mike and I lived together sophomore year. It was right behind our place. And our freshman year, it was either 88 or fall of 89. It was either right before we got there or fall of 89. They played to 50 people in this bar, in a bar. It's just a bar.
That's crazy.
But we've heard stories of bands coming through Dayton before they hit like Green Day, Chumbawamba.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Where'd they play?
Ken Gross put a show on for them.
I don't know where. I don't remember where that one was.
Sub
Oh
I don't-
yeah,
I don't know. If
I saw the
yeah.
amps there, and it was right behind.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Because that was a good. You could get 400 or 500 people in there.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, he had a few shows like that. He brought Fugazi to Dayton at 14.
Didn't he do No Doubt?
Yeah.
No doubt. I think Mighty Mighty
Yeah.
Boss Tones, like all these bands who are kind of like what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Small on their way up.
Before they really hit it. So they came through Dayton, I guess, and Cincinnati. Some of these bands on their way up.
Well, that not to get sidetracked in the time frame, but where are we now? Why we're on 70 and 75,
Right.
Right.
And I know there's great. I mean, the Rose is a great venue,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
But for smaller than that, Brightside is a great venue.
It is.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, that's
But I want, and I'm not going to tell them how to run their business, except I'm going to sound like I'm telling them how to run their business. What I want them to do is just do a shit ton of shows, right? I know they
Right.
can't, they do a lot of other things, and they've done an unbelievable job at that, and they're great people.
right.
But
It's a great
I'm
room.
wanting like Geese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
That new record is good.
So we got my son got into King Gizzard.
Yep.
And they played in Cincinnati, and he's like, "Hey, Dad," I went with him, and he said, "Hey, Dad, check out this band that's opening up." And it was the first album, 3D Country, and I'm like, it starts off, and the first song is frickin'. I'm like, this is interesting, right?
Yeah.
This is different,
Yeah.
right? Sort of like the Nirvana, not quite the same
Right,
level,
right,
right?
right, yeah.
But this is like the Strokes. Okay,
Right.
when they
Oh,
gave Bob the
gosh.
cassette, and they said, Bob helped them. They
Really?
got attention. Yes.
Yeah.
Did
He's
all
in a
that.
big,
He played in New
one of their-
York, and they walked up to the stage, I think, and they handed him a cassette.
Isn't he one of their videos or something like that?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Jeez,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
know
GBV's
that
in a
with the
video.
Strokes.
Yeah.
Wow.
They go play Family Feud, and then they're in a bar, and like Slash is there, and they're in this just LA bar hanging out
geez.
drinking.
Yeah. It's great.
Man, that first Strokes album is so good.
Right. So when that hit,
Yeah.
that felt a little
Yeah,
different,
shift.
a
It
little
did.
bit
It was
more
a
raw,
shift.
right? A little
It
bit
did.
more authentic, something a little different, right,
Yes.
for that young generation.
Yeah. Still indie kind of rock, but
Yeah.
it had pop, but it had so much. I mean, the melodies, the guitars were awesome.
Yeah.
It
Melodies
also
were-
had an attitude of I don't give a fuck.
yeah,
Well,
it did.
there you go.
Punk rock kind of attitude. Yeah,
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah. So what I'm wondering is why can't I see? Why do I always have to go to Columbus or Cincinnati?
Yeah.
Right?
We've talked about
Woodward's
this
a
a
great
ton.
venue. Brady's those are great venues. But
Yes.
like where is?
You don't have the 1,500 seat facility here, to bring those mid-sized
Yeah.
bands to. When we were doing the Dayton Music Fest, that was our biggest, the biggest room we had was 300 people, that we could bring somebody
Gillies.
in. Yeah.
Jellies. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's when Boston Spaceship played. And they're probably
Year 5.
Year 5, yeah. So that's the
I forgot
frustrating
about that.
thing. Yeah. Yep.
Were you there?
I'm certain. Was it at the?
It was at Jilly's.
Jilly's.
Jellies.
Oh, there was a Jilly's, and then what was the other? Wasn't there? GBV played a show.
Oh,
was
the
it a part-
Foundry?
at the Foundry?
I don't think that was part of the music fest.
Okay,
though.
that wasn't okay.
Yeah.
That place sounded like
Oh, we had them one year for the Dayton
sounded
Music Fest.
bad.
like you had to go find the place in the room that sounded
Right.
good. And it was the only one was on the stage listening to the monitors. And forgive me if you did sound at the Foundry. Don't come find me and kick my ass.
Well, it's more
You,
like
you
a
had no
dance
you had no
club.
shot.
Yeah.
Should have got Richley from an architecture standpoint.
That's true.
There you go.
Get that
Exactly.
thing
Mike
properly.
Ridgely, the most famous guest on this podcast, to not
not been
appear
on
on.
yet. We'll have you on, Mike.
Yeah, he just needs to sit over here every time, and
Right.
you can check with him on
Yeah,
certain
is that
things.
true? Yes. Okay. Mike says yes. We're good.
Mike's got it. Yeah.
So you're in college.
So we get this cassette, and it's Vampire on Titus, Propeller, and I think the Grand Hour EP on one cassette, right, for GBV.
Wow. Yeah.
And this is right at that time, 93,
Yep.
94.
Yep.
B1000 was just coming out.
Okay.
And there was a Mother's Day show in 94 where GBV opened up for Pavement at the old Southgate House.
Really?
Which, by the way, the old Southgate House might have been. I've been to 100 different venues, probably across across the country and in London, and it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
When
It
the
was.
energy was right there, and it was loud,
Yeah.
but you could hear everything.
great.
Right, the
Yeah.
sound was good,
Great
and
venue.
great venue.
I got a
just so
chance to
unique.
play there once, and
Really?
man, it was amazing. Yeah, it was awesome.
It's a cool room.
It is a cool.
Yeah. Is it still like
No.
it's done? It was something else for a minute, right?
It moved to do in a church.
Okay.
Yeah, so the brother and sister, from what I remember, got in a fight or whatever, and the brother took over and turned it into, what was the Tommy gun guy's name? The something house.
Oh, that's right. That's
the
what I
guy who
was
invented the
thinking of.
Tommy
Yeah,
gun.
yeah,
That was the Southgate.
Yeah.
So then the Southgate House revival opened
That's
up
right.
in a church.
That's
There you
it.
go.
Right.
Okay.
That's it.
And I'm pretty sure it was her that opened up that venue.
Yeah.
And took the Southgate name, and then the other place was still open for a handful of years, but it was doing a lot of, from a booking standpoint, business standpoint, wasn't the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but anyway, we saw them open up for Pavement, and I like Pavement, but I mean, GBV, we didn't go to see GBV. We went to go see Pavement, and we're watching, and it's, Demos in his striped pants and Mitch with a cigarette, right? And then there's this, Bob, big athletic dude right in the middle that looks like just a normal dude, looking cool. And then, we're watching this band, and Kevin Fennell's on drums, and I can't, Toby, right?
Yeah,
Obviously
right.
Toby.
Toby's
And so Toby, it looks like, a normal suburban, with a button down and jeans.
Button down polo
Right?
shirt
still
on.
That's what he still wears. I saw him in D.C. recently. He was still wearing that.
Yeah.
And we just stood there and we're like, what the holy hell? What the? And so, and my Dex goes, these are the guys from Dayton. I'm like, what? I go, that cassette that I'm like, okay, well, hold on. And so we watch, and then, Pavement was just Pavement. But when you have GBV,
Open it. You don't
like
want them
that,
to open for you.
No, hell no.
No.
Okay, and they just blew them off the stage.
Especially in probably an abbreviated set where it's not the full treatment.
45
Yeah,
minutes of
yeah.
just pounding.
Nonstop.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 15 songs and 12 beers, right? just boom, 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 half pack of cigarettes the whole time. So we get done with that, and we're kind of talking, and we go camping. Where down on where the canoe place is, right, where you can actually pull your car right up to the river, and we just set up a tent, and not after the show, a week later, whatever it was, and we had been listening to the tape over and over again, and then so Gold Star for Robot Boy, and we just we rewound it like 15 times, drunk and high, right, and just kept sorry mom, just kept rewinding it over and over, and it was like, okay, so we get up the next morning and we had to straight to Gem City, and I bought the box, I bought the grand, every CD that we could possibly buy. We were just grabbing it all. And we go over to Trader Vic's, right?
Oh, yeah.
And we were trying to get anything else, like he had, right? Propeller sitting there for $25, vinyl,
That's insane.
Which only goes for, what, 1,000 times that now or something?
It depends on, the minimum I think now is probably, I would say at least 3,000 for the most plain, repeatable ones.
Wow.
Because there were, 500 of them
There's
or something?
500. I think they probably know of about, because Vic did a video or a website where he took pictures and scanned of all the known ones.
Yeah.
Probably 375, I would think.
Wow.
So they pop up every once in a while. Somebody's got one up now, I think, and it's okay, but the minimum bid was $6,000.
Yeah.
Jeezy Pete's.
Yeah. I've got one of Bob's that, so early on when I met him, like 90, I don't know, probably 5, 6, not 96, I would guess. And I said, hey, I got a good commission check and I'm going to start buying the records. What should I start with? And he's like, well, how much you got to, how much are you going to spend? I'm like, I don't know. I think I'm going to blow this and spend $1,000. He's like, don't do that. Come here. And he took me into the basement, into the snake pit, where he had all the extra records, right?
Oh, boy.
So this is before everything blew up. If he listens to this, he's going to, I'm reminding him something he's going to get pissed off about. No, but he said, listen, for $1,000, I'll give you one of everything, and you get one of everything moving forward forever.
Whoa.
So this is before I was doing anything with them. Anything like I was
Holy
helping at
mackerel.
Rockathon, I think, helping Pete Jameson.
I just want to let 25-year-old Matt know that was a good deal. A really good deal.
A really good deal. Yeah. So the propeller I have is one of two orgasmic propeller experiences, and propeller is spelled wrong, and the other like duplicate L is crossed out or whatever it is, or duplicate P, whatever it is. And so then the other side of it is Bob's handwritten titles and credits, and that's one of I think maybe Vix thinks maybe 3 times that Bob did that.
Holy
Oh
mackerel.
my.
So the one I've got is and Bob spilled red wine on it at my house.
Even better.
No, on the vinyl itself, not on the cover.
Even better.
Sheesh.
Yeah. So
And for those listening, don't want to assume, Propeller, there were 500.
Yep.
Each one unique cover.
Correct.
The band sat around, as I understand it, or the lore. I don't know if it's funny when you get into the Pollard world. There's lore, and then there's probably what really happened, and something in between is what really happened. 500 all unique covers, right?
correct.
And they just knocked them out over a weekend or a
And
period
then
of time.
A period of time. I don't
Yeah.
know how long, but they
Yeah.
each took some too. So
Yes.
Bob did not do all of them. You know, Toby did some, and he
Yeah.
had a silk screen of the airplane, and you see
Yeah,
that
yeah,
you see that repeated a lot, right?
Because he's probably easy to replicate those quickly.
Correct. And some of them they colored in, and
Yeah.
you know, like with the boxers and the where they pasted the thing on the back.
It's a fascinating
right?
sort of artifact of rock history.
Yeah, and they did it before anybody knew who they were, right? It was completely just to make the thing. That was Bob, right? Like I don't give a shit. Like I'm making this for me,
Yep.
Yeah.
right? I'm creating this for me and for us and our friends, whoever cares at the time,
Yeah.
right? And so so now. It's become the most collectible, and if you watch Discogs and things like that, when they do go up, it's in the top. You know, anytime one goes up, it's always in the top. And I mean, number one might go 1 out of 500. It was used for when they repressed them. You know, when they did repressings. That one has to go. That would have to go for at least $10,000.
Yeah.
I don't understand how it wouldn't, because there are collectors. There are people out there that have 10 or 15 of them.
Don't look at me like I'm ever going to get one, because that ain't going to happen. I value my marriage. And, I would love to have one
You
of
have
those.
2
but
daughters in college.
$2 in so I have a sealed copy of the second pressing.
Okay.
And then one of the more recent ones they did I have is a play copy. But yeah.
So take us back.
Yeah, please.
Like you were grabbing everything you can.
Yeah.
You know, got to buy. You don't even know them. You saw them once,
Correct.
right? You're enthralled. Like,
Yep.
I'm going to get everything I can. So how did you get from that then to meeting him?
Yeah. So you know, I would
To
say at
meeting
the
Bob.
time, you know, Rush was still my favorite band, but I was completely like tunnel vision on Robert Pollard and Guided by Voices. Yeah. Right? Like I became completely like, well, what is that? You know?
Do you think some of the lore too was that he was from here also? From your hometown?
Well, yeah, but I'll tell you, like, people have had different experiences with Bob over the years, but you know, one of the things that is a constant theme is, especially in the early days, not even in the early days, I mean, up until like early 2000s, the pre-show was a party, right? The show was the party.
Yeah.
Right? They're playing to their friends at a party, right? So they're having fun. And if you weren't an asshole, you were allowed to go be around them, right? So they played, not Special Occasion, it was a Saxtetter. What was that place right on Main, just north of 35 there? On the right-hand side, it used to be a supper club.
I don't know.
I don't know. Oh,
Upper Crust?
was that where
Not Upper
Celebrities
Crust.
was?
Celebrity...
Was Celebrities a club
It's
later
like
on?
you go Main Street just
Right.
under 35, and it was right on the right hand side. Regardless, you can edit it in later, whatever the name of
fine,
the place
yeah.
is. No one gives a shit. But like we go and like we made reservations and like sat down at a table, and you know, it's this supper club, and they play this show and blow everybody away. This was way early, one of the first shows we saw, and afterwards they're just hanging out.
Yeah.
And that's what they did, right? Because they found great joy in playing the music that they had written and created, but found great joy sharing it.
That's
right.
amazing.
And so it's hugs of people they don't know, and just smiles and, hey, okay, man, like, and so that part of the experience is absolutely going to keep you going, keep the momentum going, the fandom going, right? Like, oh, hey, I can watch this. Well, then what happens? And then, B1000, and then Alien Lanes comes out, and Alien Lanes hits, right? They were given a huge advance for it, and they spent, $3. One cassette. No, that's a true story.
Really?
Yeah.
Matador, that's been documented. I'm not letting it. They were given a huge, it might have been
like 6 figures or something like that.
It was $100,000
Really? For Alien Lanes?
to record Alien Lanes, and basically
They turn in.
they
turned in a masterpiece.
And listen, and Matador still protects Alien Lanes. Okay, there's a reason why. Right?
Heck yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and so then we're on that ride, and the shows get bigger. In '96, we actually went to New York, so that was our first big road trip, and we had gotten to know Pete. So one of the things that happened too is that we went down.
Pete was the band manager.
Yeah, he was manager for life at the time, and so he was a road manager, and he did the merch, if you could call it that. It was the hand screen shirts, right? All those that are worth. Those are worth $300, $400 now.
Wow.
So we went down to Walnut Hills, which is,
Yeah.
alcohol is the cause of and solution to all of our problems. Homer Simpson said that, right? Remember
There
that?
you go.
So, we find ourselves down there. We were living on Linden Avenue, right there by the Circle K, right after college. Yeah. And we go down there and we're hanging. There's nobody there. We all shoot pool and, talk to Big Mike and, the bartenders there and we put in, $180 worth of God about everything that they just everything, and so no one's there. And so this guy comes back and, looks like Benjamin Franklin and is like, hey man, did you guys play this? We're like, yeah. And he's like, are you fans? We're like, yeah. And I go, hey, wow, I'm Pete. I work with the band. We're like, oh, so we talked to him. After a while, he goes, hey, I got the new album in the car. You want to go listen to it?
Oh my gosh.
Remember,
Hey, kids.
Drinks, right?
You take
I'm
your
like,
beers out.
here's this guy. I'm bigger than he is. All right, let's go. And it was Alien Lanes. So I heard Alien Lanes before, and it come out like, oh my God. And so it kept. I'm sorry, it's Under the Bushes, Under the Stars.
The Bushes, yeah. The next one after Alien.
The next one after Alien Lanes. And so we got to start hanging out with Pete. And so when we went to New York, there was 2 shows right before they went to Europe at Irving Plaza. So you got 1,500 people, right? It's a legendary venue. And we're rolling in at the dorks that we are. And we meet, at the bar prior to the show, and Jimmy's sitting there, and there's a bar right next to Irving Plaza, and Matt Sweeney's with him, from Chavez, and they're kind of they're talking. We had sort of met Jimmy, at some of the other shows, and so then Pete's like, hey, come on, and we're backstage at these shows.
Really?
And then watching from the side of the stage, right?
My gosh.
And the first show, it's 3 encores in, they come off, and he's like, what the fuck? What do we play now? And I'm like, I'm sitting there, I'm like, he's just looking at us and over the Neptune Magic Air Fox. He's like, yes, that's why you're here. And I'm like, I just made a request at a GBV show in New York City
from backstage.
And Bob looked at me and said, yes, thank you. And they went out and their tapes of that show, they absolutely killed it. I'm like, oh my God.
Wow. Meet Me in the City, sponsored by Twisted River Coffee Roaster. Twisted River offers an unpretentious approach to specialty coffee. Visit twistedrivercoffee.com and use promo code INTHECITY at checkout to receive a one-time discount of 10% off your entire order.
that really vaulted to the next step, right?
Gotcha.
Which was when we came back, Pete said, "Hey, do you want to go out to Monument Club?" And I'm like, "Well, what's that?" He's like, "Well, that's where at Bob's house on Titus, he had a basketball court. It was a full court, but the length of like half of a regular basketball court. But it had 2 goals, and he had a detached garage that had a bar in it and a stereo and a TV. And they would him and his buddies would hang out, and they would drink beer, and they'd play basketball, and they'd listen to music, and they did it every Wednesday and Sunday. It was a monument club. They were monuments of the area, of the town, right? Pillars of society." And it was great. And I went, and I'm like, "Oh, this is unbelievable," right? No GBV or music things were
just hanging
discussed.
out.
His friends were funny as shit. He was a great host, like he always is, right? And everybody else there was like, "Hey, man, nice to meet you. Oh, hey, good seeing you again." So then that kept going, and then I started helping Pete at Rockathon, which was down where on 2nd Street there, the Front Street buildings, where Crow Mag was,
right? Yeah.
Excuse me. And I just wanted to be around it at that time. I didn't want anything from it. And I went in there, and I'm like, "Hey man, do you want me to help?" And he's like, "Yeah." And so we cleaned it up, we painted it. I got him a computer, right, for the first time. Seriously.
I believe it.
Because he was just like, I don't know, because it was starting to do this.
Right.
And he couldn't get his arms around it. And all the orders would come in via check in the mail.
Wow.
So you would
insane, dude.
So you would go to a show. Yeah, you would go to a show, and it was a print off, and you would fill in what you wanted, and then send that back with a check.
Oh my gosh.
To Rockathon, and then Pete would fill the order.
Oh wow.
That's insane.
Yeah.
What year is this?
So long
This
ago,
was
but
like 96 in there.
96.
so
right
long
around
ago,
there.
but yet not so long
Right.
ago.
Correct.
It seems wild to think that you would just be like, "Oh, I'm just going to order this through the mail," but here we are. There you were. I guess.
I bet you people would still do that out of nostalgia.
Oh, I bet they.
You know what I
would.
mean? If you
Yeah.
went to a
Yeah,
show
yeah,
and they
yeah.
had an order form,
Yeah.
and mail it, just put a stamp on an envelope and you mail your check in. If anybody's got checks anymore.
Right. Exactly.
That's the challenge.
Yeah, that's the challenge. Or you Venmo and just said,
Right.
that's where then I started to do more. Again, I wanted nothing. I just loved being around at the live shows. Yeah. I got to go see things get recorded.
Yeah.
Crow Mag was right there.
Yeah.
And then the friends, all of our friends were all fans too.
Yeah.
And so we got to really experience that. And then they started going out to Monument Club, which led to, Bob is an unbelievable basketball player. Jimmy played at Arizona State, blew out his knee. He was Byron Scott's roommate in college.
Oh, really?
For a year.
Wow.
Yeah, he came back home and blew out his knee before they could do anything about it. And then Brian Pollard, Bob's son, was a great basketball player too.
Oh, wow.
And so we challenged them, and it was not going to be close. I mean, you guys saw me walk in. I'm not. I have a long torso and little kid legs. I have to shop at the boys' Husky section for pants. And so it was my friend Steve Tulloch and Dennis, and we challenged them to 3-on-3, and the winner would get if we won, I'd get the suitcase. And the suitcase was an actual suitcase.
Oh, for real?
Filled with cassette tapes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Of all this old music.
Again, pause. So suitcase was this is a question I have for later, but still running suitcase?
We've done 4, and I'll tell you about an idea we have, but I don't know if I want to put it out there. But
okay, that's
we can
fine.
talk about that in a minute.
So it's a long-standing thing where all this stuff it's been around, it's compiled and then released as a box set. And then there have been several like little compendiums, like a 1 LP.
So
highlight,
there are 4 suitcases, each a CD box set.
Yep.
4 CDs,
Yep.
25 songs per CD.
Yep.
So 100 songs per suitcase.
Yep.
So there's 400 songs that were unreleased that we've put out. Okay, but you got to buy Voice's suitcase. That was named because there was a suitcase,
An actual suitcase.
with all of the cassettes. So they recorded everything.
Yeah.
right? So beyond the prolific nature that they already had of the things that you heard and were on vinyl
that you're aware of,
there's all of this other stuff. And so we get to a point and I'm like, okay, well, if we win, we get the suitcase, Bob's laughing, him and Jimmy and Brian are all laughing.
Yeah.
and then Dennis and Steve or Tulloch are looking at me like, what the hell are you doing? It's stupid. And I'm like, okay, well, if we lose, I'll buy a popcorn machine or whatever. So we'd never even played. I'm like, yeah, this is stupid. And so I bought him a couch and a love seat for the Monument Club. and we went on. And so what would happen over time, I think, is that Bob saw that we were, myself and my group of friends, again, didn't want anything from where we weren't taking something.
You weren't hanging on.
Hey, I got an idea. I want to do this business thing with you. It was not about that at all, right?
Yeah.
And that we could just hang out with all of his buddies and drink and hang out and just laugh and tell jokes. And he was like, okay. So then he said, hey, listen, I got, we talked about the suitcase and he had a water issue in the basement. I'm like, yeah, we really need to digitize those before you can't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
He's like, okay, do you know how to do that? I'm like, yeah, sure.
I'll figure it out.
So this was the very, very early days. And so I had a work laptop and Kevin Poindexter and I went up there and we had a tape deck that went straight in the laptop and we just put the tapes in and Bob would sit there with, whoever, Jimmy or whoever it was, and they would just sit there and we would drink beer and we would just take the tape and play it and record it and create a WAV file and then put the title in and just save those individual WAV files for all of these songs.
Did he have titles for everything? As he played back, did he realize
he would be like, he's like, oh man, what's this? Oh yeah, that's, like, yeah. Yeah, I mean, he would remember it. He's got that kind of memory.
Crazy.
He's like, hey, Jimmy, this is the one you did that amp drop on,
Wow.
and he would they would laugh, and it was great. They would tell stories about, we'd stop for a second, and with some of his other friends in the room, they talk about it and tell stories and shit. And so Kevin and I are just sitting there going, how do we get so lucky? Right? Like, pick your favorite band.
Yeah.
And you're sitting with your favorite band in the entire world and it's not close. And they are playing all of their unreleased music for you to then digitize.
And basically only you. And
only you and me and Dex. And that's it for you to hear at this point. Because we had thought about it maybe, but so then we get everything kind of digitized and his brother Dave took it and he, air quotes, mastered them, right? He made sure, because some of them, the levels were, kind of crazy.
Just
right. Very rudimentary. But again, a lot of this stuff was so lo-fi.
Yeah, it didn't matter.
It just had to sound so you could hear it.
Right.
Yeah.
And so Bob went through those and created that project, the suitcase.
Incredible.
Wow.
And then, so what you're talking about, the other side pieces, we did a briefcase. It was called Briefcase.
That's right.
And it was vinyl. And it was what he considered the best of each suitcase.
Oh,
so
wow.
there's Briefcase 1, 2, 3, and 4 that are like,
four.
it's just one LP, close to 40 minutes
The best
total.
of the best.
The best of each suitcase.
Best of what was the rest.
Now what we've talked about, or what I Bob and I have talked about and I thought of, and we keep talking about it, but it's just a monster thing, is that we would do Bob wants to call it the cube, right? But it would be.
I'm in. Where do I have to send my check? Where does the check go?
Are you following me? It would be like
Yes.
it would be an actual suitcase. I worked with a company. They sent me this thing that exists that would fit. It would be 32 LPs because each suitcase disc would be 2 LPs. So you would need 8 LPs per suitcase. So that's 32 plus the 4 briefcase for 36 LP box set. Which you guys can maybe do other research, but everything I've seen, we would beat Kiss, we would beat every other self-contained box set. So that's my dream of doing that, is to have to have it all on vinyl.
I'm just running numbers in my head.
How much would that go
can
for?
I afford this?
That's just printing money there.
So Travis is in, the band's producer, right? Yeah. That Bob's worked with for years now. And he's in, but I mean, just his time to go through all of those CDs, and then to be able to create, to master it for vinyl, right, is a process. And you got to do that 32 times. And we have to have 32 test pressings. Wow. And so you can't do that in a minute. And we have a great partner in Gotta Groove up in Cleveland. They're awesome, right? Yeah. Matt Early, we were very early. I found them and we got connected because we were done with the company that we were having problems with because their plant was in the Czech Republic. So Bob moves this fast, okay?
We know.
So when he has something that he needs an answer on, we can't wait for 3 days. And that's basically what it was, because the company was in San Francisco. The plant was in the Czech Republic. So by the time you go back and forth, right, it was always a delay. Yeah. And some of the quality wasn't what Bob wanted. And so found Gotta Groove. He sent me a great package of sample stuff. And I liked that they were Ohio and Cleveland, obviously, right?
Me too.
Cleveland and Dayton are very connected, from a rock perspective. Yeah. And I really liked that. And he was great to talk to immediately and understood that it's a partnership, not a vendor customer relationship, right? Because I had to, listen, he's like, no, I know who GBV is. I know who Bob is.
You need to know what's coming down the
pike.
You got
to know, right. And so
buckle up, Buttercup.
Yeah. And so, during the pandemic, as an example, not to get, sidetracked on Gotta Groove, but during the pandemic and when there was all kind of issues and delays and things were going 9 months to 12 months. And then was it Adele, I think, that took up every freaking press in the world? Right. It was Adele, or I'm not being critical.
No,
just
you're
like
right.
when you're that big, Taylor
you're
Swift
right.
or something.
It was one of those two for sure.
And then it pushed everything out even more.
Yes.
And new bands, like we're not taking new bands projects right now. With Matt, I was able to say, hey, listen, these are the target dates. Tell me the due date. And I wouldn't have to pay a deposit. He would just put us on the docket.
Wow.
And so that's the kind of relationship that we ended up having, which was unbelievable because Bob could still move at the pace that Bob wanted to move. But we just had to do it a little bit sooner now. Right.
Yeah.
So they've been incredible. And he actually turned down some represses of a very big artist from Minneapolis. He turned it down because he said they'll come to me once. I mean, I'm talking very, very, very big. Okay, and no longer here.
Right? Yes,
I know.
Yeah.
Purple,
an artist. Formerly walked this earth.
Formerly known as a story that no one knows. Yeah.
It
was Prince.
Also, I love Prince. I just love prolific artists. But yeah.
So he turned it down because he said, "Listen, they'll come to me once.
Yeah,
I'll lose customers that keep coming back to me.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
right.
Well, I'm like, there's the integrity. That's authentic, right?
And it's a connection. It's a connection you already had.
Oh, absolutely, right? And so I'm hoping to do that box set, and I've got the right partner. In the plant, I have the right partner in the producer.
If you need
to do the logistics,
a volunteer
of it,
to work off a debt so that I can afford one of those, I'll give you my number after, and I'll be happy to.
Yeah. But we've never done the GoFundMe or or Kickstarter or anything, but. To do the math.
I can't
like the investment, because we're not going to collect day one. We could do a pre-sale based upon what we think it could be. That would be able to fund it.
Yeah.
But then it's like, and then we would know how many we would need as well, right? And
True.
they're possible, but that's if on top of 3 albums a year and eat and maybe another project, and I have an 8 to 5 job and a family, and a wife that still likes me. So
you want to keep that.
That's correct. So the amount of time to I mean, it's going to be a process, but I really, really would.
I really want you to do it, and I'm not alone because I don't have any of them, and I'd love to have all of them, but they're all on secondary now because they're all out of print and tough to come by. Yeah. Some are cheaper than others.
Well, that's just the briefcase. The suitcase stuff has never been on vinyl.
Yeah, right.
Ever.
Right.
right? So
and both of them are hard to come by at this point.
oh, right, regular suitcases.
Yeah.
Suitcase 3, I think. That Rich had done that one. That was kind of when things had changed, and I don't know if they didn't do as many, or I can't remember why. But that one was
crazy.
Gone, and you can't find it, and that's
crazy.
a few $100, I think, for that one, right? For CDs.
Yes,
Crazy.
It is crazy.
That's nuts.
So you embed yourself at some point within the organization, going way back to
Weasel my way in
the 90s.
The Dayton Mafia.
using my good looks and charm.
Yes, yes.
That's what I'm missing. What good looks and charm.
Yes. No, just
Just one or the other.
just one.
Which one,
You
Shawn?
pick.
Either one. So you've been around since the 90s.
Yep.
And you have essentially, it's not that the band or that Pollard's, musical output or anything has grown, but like the organization, I assume, has grown and how you operate as you've been involved.
Well, his output has grown, right?
I know, but as far as like, do you think the mid 90s were the peak of his like being known across the board, or do you think it's still gathering steam as we go?
Well, that's kind of hard to say, right? Because you had a lot of bands, you have a spike in popularity if you track album sales, right?
Right.
Now a lot of it is what Spotify monthly listeners or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But what I see is that every year at Heedfest, new people come from around the world that have not been here before.
Yeah.
And there's kids like and forgive me, I can't remember his name, but the kid from Sharp Pins, that album this year.
Oh yes, I was just listening to that.
Yeah, so he's
from
come,
Chicago.
Yeah,
right?
he's come to Heedfest. And,
Oh, really?
and so there's these artists. Wednesday opened up, right, for GBV and their fans, right? They GBV 40.
Yeah. Yep.
And Jay Lenderman, he has taken off, right?
Yeah. Huge. His last record's really good too.
Yeah. So you have. It's like a constant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It just our sales are very predictable, right? And it's a constant stream, but we ship 5,000-6,000 packages a year out of Rockathon, right?
Nuts.
So
That's
people still love to order mail order, but most of our stuff goes to Revolver. Again, a great partner.
Their distribution.
Absolutely. We went out to San Francisco this summer, and I said, hey, I'm in town. We had never met, and we had done work with them for 20 plus years.
Yeah,
and so he's like, well, come over, man, we're here. And got to go see the facility. It's
cool.
They distribute a ton of stuff, but they are great. They work with us. They know, right? They dial in. They're not ordering too much or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're very aware, and they're all fans, right? So having that, it's an ecosystem, right? So Bob in recording has his band right now that's been a band for a while, for 16 albums or whatever, but they are dialed in. He just did vocals on Saturday at Rockathon, right? And so, Kevin couldn't be there, but everybody else was there, and then Travis, the producer, is there. And they are there to support, and they know what Bob wants. He gives them the notes, and Travis knows what he wants for the sound, right? And how to get that where it needs to be. So you don't need more. You need more from the people that you trust.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yes.
I think so.
Definitely.
And so Bob has this ecosystem. So we have got a groove in our ecosystem, right?
Yep.
He's got David, manage this, right, in the ecosystem.
Yep.
I in the interview I sent you the link to,
Yeah.
I drew a picture of how all those things.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm like, because Morgan asked me, he's like, can you explain? I'm like, no, I can't explain. I go, let me draw it out for you, and I'll send it.
Yeah.
Right, and that's pretty. I showed it to Bob. He started laughing. He's like, yeah, but that. He's like, that's pretty accurate. Right, that's the world of Robert Pollard, his creative, everything he does creatively, right?
Yeah.
And so having Revolver A to Z, our printer who does all the eats, right? We do that from a merch standpoint. That we don't do that anymore. It just with 8 to 5 jobs, it just became too much, right?
Yeah,
And so Mark and Kevin took that over and partnered
From the
with
band.
No, from Rockathon. So Rockathon was also T-shirts and all the merch. Okay. Anything merch was Rockathon.
Okay.
But we weren't doing as much as we should, but just time and effort and energy. We just didn't have it. Right. And so Bob has got all these ideas and I'm like, do it, go, And so again, there's no jealousy in that. If it helps, we facilitate, and that's what we do.
Right. Yeah.
That's my job, is to facilitate so that Robert Pollard can do whatever the hell he wants to do.
When he wants
He's
to do
the
it.
artist. It's his legacy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He's the person creating this. And so everybody understands that. Right. And takes great pride in helping him do that. So even from a merch standpoint, Port merch, Chip Taylor's awesome out of Raleigh. Look at the bands that he's got on Port merch. It's incredible who he's got. Right.
Yeah.
And so all of these organizations surrounding the core, right? Guided by Voices Inc. is the main label, and Rockathon as the operational arm of that label is the best way to put it. We're just there to make sure that he gets what he wants. And so we have not expanded in terms of how many people we have.
Okay, there we go. Yeah.
Joe Patterson does all the art.
Yeah.
And Bob and him, have known each other for years. And Joe is incredible, understands what needs to get done, right?
Yeah.
Ben Penry does all the website stuff. It's not a ton that we have to do. We don't update it a ton, but he's on it in a second, right?
Yeah.
And then it's Mike Lips, and Kevin stepped away for a while, but he's come back now that his kids are a little older. And the three of us are, I'm doing all we all ship, but, we have different roles beyond that.
Yeah. You kind of alluded to it a couple times. I know you wanted to talk about Heedfest in general, which is it's essentially a fan festival, right?
Yeah. Well, so years ago, Bob wasn't going to tour anymore, take a break from touring, right? So this was 2000 and I can't remember.
Was it after the first GBV name was done?
Well, sort of in that stretch. And he was doing the Robert Pollard touring and things like that. And it was before the classic, the air quotes classic lineup, reunion thing. And so there's a message board called Disarm the Settlers. Has been around since 2004 and is still a thing, right? And on that board, Heed, Mike Lips goes by Heed.
One of the three.
Look at his enormous Heed. Who married an axe murderer.
That's what that's from.
That's what. That's why they call him the Heed.
Oh man,
look at his enormous Heed.
Okay.
It's
like
crying
an orange on
you're
a
blocking
toothpick.
it. Yeah. That's where it comes from.
That's
okay.
awesome.
So Heed puts it out there. He's like, hey, listen, we can still hang out though, because what had happened is with the internet coming up, right? I don't know if you guys have heard of the internet.
What?
Yeah, it's a way
The World Wide Web.
The World Wide Web.
Sprinkler, are we on the internet? Yes. Okay. Just checking. All right.
Yes. So the
And you're
World
old.
Wide Web.
Yes.
And so people were able to hook up better before shows and things got played, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
So then the community became a tighter community. It wasn't just you and your 10 friends that you kind of knew, it got bigger and bigger. And so we got to meet a ton of people. And through the message board, everybody started really hooking up and going to other shows. You go to New York City and you're like, okay, we'll meet you, wherever. So Mike said, we'll still hang out. And in fact, why don't you guys come to Dayton for a barbecue? And everybody's like, hey, that sounds like fun. And he's like, yeah, well, we'll do that. Okay. We'll have a little cookout and drink some beer and hang out. Great. Who wants to come? 75 people said, yeah, I'll be there. And I'd call him. I go like, hey man, what are you going to do? He's like, I don't know. I go, you need some help. He's like, yeah. Okay. He's like, you're hired. So on the board, it says, Matt Davis, the guy Heed makes organize Heed Fest. Right?
Beautiful.
And so everybody is like, well, what should we call it? And we didn't want to call it GBV Fest or Bob Fest because we didn't want Bob to feel obligated to show up. Yeah. Okay. And that was it. We'll just call it Heed Fest. And we all know what it is. It's all about Bob and GBV.
Sure.
Okay, that's great. Well, all these people are coming now, and like, hey, we got to tell Bob. Like, oh shit,
my gosh.
And so we went out to dinner, and Slozorenko was there, and Bob and his wife, and me and my wife, I think, if I remember correctly. But anyway, we're sitting there, and I said, hey, I got to tell you something. There's a bunch of people coming in from out of town. You're not touring. He's like, yeah. And it's called Heed Fest. He just went, it's called what? I'm like, all right, let me explain. Right? And he wasn't pissed off about it. He was confused. Like, wait a minute, why? And so I went through the whole story, et cetera, et cetera. So we do the first Heed Fest. He shows up. There's a picture out there from it. It was at Wings. We just did a Friday, and then we did Saturday at the Polish Club. But we took care of everything, right? So there were buses from the shitty Comfort Inn up on Miller Lane that would take you to the Polish Club, and then they did a tour of all the GBV stops in Dayton.
Oh, that's hilarious!
Like the band shell, right? This year we just had our 13th. They're still going out there, and there's 100 people that go out there to take their picture doing the big leg kicks and shit.
Oh my gosh!
and so that Heed Fest #1, it just. Everybody paid, including Bob, including myself. Like we've never made money from this. Okay. And because Bob said, well, it's a backyard barbecue, so everybody pays. It's like, so instead of potluck where people from out of town can't bring shit,
right.
we got a bunch of food, grilled it out, and we had, a whole spread. We rented a PA. We had a couple, tribute band called the Hedonist play, and it was just kind of thrown together. Well, then, Demos is there, and I think, who else was there at the first one? Was it Nate and Demos and Jimmy Mack? And Demos goes, Bob, let's get the band back together.
Oh my gosh!
And Bob's like, what are you talking? He's like, and they're trying to figure out what they know, right? And so they get up on stage and they GBV reunited. Wow. Right, so this was in between, and everybody, and it was on the internet, the worldwide. It kind of spread, and people were like, holy shit, what is this? It's at a backyard barbecue, and they played. It's kind of crazy, and so that's kind of how it started, and then every year, it's gotten a little bit bigger. It changes a little bit every year. This past year. GBV didn't play. They played a couple times. GBV 40 doesn't count. That was its own thing, but a lot of the same people came in. Yeah. But what's awesome to see is that, we've had people, Australia, New Zealand, and all over Europe, almost every state, tons of people from Canada, all come in. Wow. The one year I think we had 500 people come in.
Holy
okay. And it's now like if I'm planning a freaking wedding. Jeez, for like
yearly.
Last year was like 250 people, right? Because GBV didn't play, but it was a Thursday night at Gus's, right, at Barrel House.
Yep.
It was Friday night at Yellow Cab. It was Saturday and Yellow Cab had bands, and Yellow Cab folks are great. They've always done us well. And then Wings on Saturday. And then Sunday, we had a breakfast and then a trivia thing the day that Lily's had the fire. And then, so Lily's was supposed to open up for a big breakfast and they had the kitchen fire. And she, she was distraught. And so Blind Bob said, well, we'll open up our kitchen early. Wow. And then they had a fire.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, because the owner, they said, don't let the owner open up the kitchen. He doesn't know what he's doing. But that was that day. So it's 4 days, and then so now people are staying almost a week. Wow. And it's great to see I'm not a big Facebook guy, but that these people are getting together in different places around the world because of Robert Pollard, because of Gotta Buy Voices, because of Heed Fest, right? And we have two rules, right? Love Bob, no assholes. And by the way, the first rule is kind of, there's been a lot of husbands and wives and kids and brothers and sisters who don't love Gotta Buy Voices or don't even know who Robert Pollard is, but that will come along with somebody and they leave a happy part of the community, right? Cool. So the first rule isn't even really required, but the second rule is hard and fast. You cannot be an asshole. Everybody knows that. They self-police. You talk to, any of the bars and restaurants, like everybody's on vacation, so they tip really well. Oh, everybody's in a great mood.
They're having fun.
We're filling the hotels.
We're in Dayton, baby. Right? We're in the land.
Driven millions of dollars, literally, of economic impact over these years on all these events of all these people coming in.
Wow.
Right? And no one, knock on wood, no one's ever been arrested. Wow. We've never had a fight. And think about how much,
Yeah.
alcohol is. You're on
Consumed.
vacation.
A little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Heat Fest is something that, and what makes it special though, the reason why people really come back beyond the camaraderie with each other is that Bob and the band all show up.
Yeah.
They're there the whole time.
Wow.
And so when the new big, huge fans come in from wherever they're coming from, they'll be like, "Hey, Matt, that's Bob right there." He's talking to Doug. I'm like, "Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Go over and say hello." "No, I can't. Dude, you see him talking to 50 other people. There was one after the GBV 40, I think, Bob stood in wings, and it was a receiving line. I'm not kidding. For 4 hours, he stood there. And they had to have somebody like moving people along. Everybody would get the picture. Everybody get something signed. He would tell a story. He'd ask about them. And I watched it happen. I'm not kidding. For 4+ hours.
Wow.
That's
Even the Queen didn't do that.
Right. And so what do people remember, right? Like I was talking about the early days, right? He's so generous with his time, understanding that what these people, beyond money, that this is what they wanted to do with their vacation, right?
Yeah.
They wanted to come to Dayton, Ohio.
Yeah.
We're not Chicago. I mean, I love
Right.
Dayton.
Oh, yeah.
I'll never move,
yeah.
right?
This podcast loves Dayton.
Yeah.
Right. I love Dayton.
Yes.
And people have moved here because of coming here for Heat Fest.
Oh, wow.
Jeezy Pete.
That's man, you
That's
guys
amazing.
are your own entity, just
Yeah.
driving the economy.
Just crushing things for Dayton. Yeah.
Just little bit, a song at a time. I have, Matt, you've been very generous with your time and your
Yes.
stories. I have rapid fire, but I want to give these guys a shot. You're pointing at me to go.
Go ahead, do your
Yeah,
rapid
do
fire.
it, brother.
So you started to get into the process and how things go, and I wondered where you enter the process. Like how early on from...
Yeah, sure.
It's pretty, I think, well, for people who listen, knowing you are who you are and Pollard fans and whatever, I think most people know, but would you mind just kind of sketching for us where you enter the process from a demo, say, to release?
Yeah. So it's again, having good partners.
Yeah.
Right. And Bob is very good at communicating what he wants.
Yeah.
So it's clockwork now. Right. So he's like, all right, well, as an example, Thick, Rich, and Delicious just came out.
That record is so good.
It's so good.
They had, I believe they had the demos before it came out of the next one that'll come out in late May.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. And so they are rehearsing and then recording, and Bob has notes, right? So they in New York record all the music. And so then they just came in this past weekend, and it's Travis and the guys, and they set up in Rockathon. So there's so many boxes, you would think it sounds like shit in there. It's like, but this vocal sounds awesome. And so they set up, and I watched them do vocals, and then Bobby Bear doing backing vocals, and Bob and him together doing it in 4 hours. Done.
Wow.
The whole album?
The whole album.
Oh my God.
Jeezy Pete.
So he prepares so much, right?
Yeah.
That the process that we don't spend money, a ton of money in a studio for him to screw around, right?
Yeah.
That's not how he does it.
Yeah.
He's ready to go, right?
Yeah.
And so at this point, Travis has it, and then when it's complete, right, which should be a couple weeks, he'll mix and master. It'll be in a few weeks, and then the file, Bob will check it, make sure that there's nothing that needs to be changed or any other maybe little overdubs that he wants, and then that the music is done. When the music is done, then I get I let Matt know, and I put the order in for the vinyl, put the order in for the CD. The music
you're on
gets
track.
sent.
Boom.
Get the due dates for everything. Joe Patterson and Bob knows what he wants from an art perspective, right? He knows what he wants from a finished perspective, right? Here's the business calls that Bob and I have. Hey man, hey Bob, how you doing? He's like, hey, I just want to talk about next release. Let's do gloss on this one, and just do regular insert, and we'll just do regular black vinyl. Okay, no gatefold, no. But I do want the insert, and Joe's got all that. Okay. All right, we good? Yeah, we're good. All right, did you see the fucking Bengals? then it's 30 minutes. Yeah. Did you see that shit? And it's like 30 minutes of us complaining about whatever sport, the Bengals, the Buckeyes, or the Reds or something, right? Like, did you see that? Or whatever happens to be, and then and then that's, and he's like, okay, so we're doing gloss, we're doing black font. I was like, all right, good meeting. so he knows what he wants, right? And so it makes it very easy. We're not going back and forth, right? We've done 100+ albums, all of it. Like the process is there. Joe finishes up the art, he uploads the art. It gets checked back and forth, et cetera. And then, we get a hold of, Revolver and confirm what the quantities are. David from Manage This, Bob's manager, does the one sheet and starts to get the promotion stuff together. It's hard to promote, when it's a constant, it's another GBV album, right? Like, and it's not, but, it's like, each album is completely different. Like this one is completely different than Thick, Rich, and Delicious, which was completely different than Universe.
Right.
And even with the same band and same producer, it's different sounds and different types of songs. And so, but the process of creating the physical medium is the same.
Same every time.
Right. And same thing for Eat. So for Eat books, right? They're 230 pages, all its collage. Eat 22 is now almost done. Bob's got an art show up in Detroit. Opening night's June 6th, so we're putting the Eat out early this year. We usually do it in the fall around his birthday. So again, Joe does all that layout. We've got a guy here in town that helps him make sure everything is correct, and then those files get sent off to our printer partner, and they get the books printed, and I coordinate that operational side. Then most things get shipped to distributor. Everything else gets shipped back to Mike's work, Gem City Chemicals. Shout out to Gem City Chemicals and Mike. And then we're doing the pre-order stuff, and all the shipping, right? So we have usually a huge rush. Sometimes it's upwards of 1,000 orders, and the repeatables aren't hard, right? If it's one LP and there's a stack of, maybe 200 orders, that's just the new LP. Mm-hmm. But when you get crazy is when you get in a stack of miscellaneous. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm not on this. I did what's called extrapolation. Is that the right word?
I don't know.
How many combinations there are of different things. Oh, yeah. It's around 4.5 billion combinations of things you can order from Rockathon. Holy! So when you get into the I'm not kidding. So you get into the miscellaneous stuff, and it could be, this Circus Devil CD, with this Boston Spaceship CD.
Aggregate, maybe? Like an aggregate number of combinations? I don't know.
There's
a lot.
Yeah.
All the combinations you can have, right? Hey, edit out that part, Sprinkles. Punch in what the word is for the number when you multiply the number of combinations of different things.
We didn't tell you before, but we will send you this file before it's released. That's right. If there's anything that needs to be. Yeah.
But yeah, so that, and then, we have a huge run for a few weeks, and Mike and now Kevin has come back. And when Mike had cancer, or still has cancer, but he was out of commission for about a year. Wow. And so other people that are fans and friends of ours stepped up to help. We've got a way of doing it that works, for us, and we can get the stuff out quick, and so and then it repeats, right?
Man,
rinse and repeat.
Kind of a follow up to that. Are you ever surprised when in the process, when you first get to hear the music? Are you ever surprised, like, man, this is better than I thought, or anything like that? I mean, maybe after 25 years or so, or however long it's been that you've been a part of the process.
Yeah, I should get a T-shirt made. I no longer predict the future decisions of Robert Pollard, right? and so I'm not surprised, right? Yeah. Like Bob does what, again, it's not a selfish or narcissistic thing, but he creates for his 12-year-old, 14-year-old self, right? He creates for what he wants to hear now, right? Yeah. He wants to hear or see, this thing. So I'm rarely I'm surprised all the time in a great way.
Yeah.
I'm rarely shocked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's a better way to put it.
Because you think about the 3,000 songs, I pretty much know them all, and all the suitcases and all the crazy stuff. Right?
Have you listened to every song that you've released? That's the other next question.
100%. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Kind of same vein of things. What is your I put both because I'm not sure. What is your favorite or least favorite cliche about Robert Pollard, the artist? And you can think in terms of whatever you want to, because there's a bunch of stuff that people will say. And
well, I kind of said it in the interview that I did for the Excited Ones, and it's that he needs an editor.
Yeah.
And I said, you can quote me on this.
Yeah.
Fuck you. You need an editor. All right. I mean, like that these. So it's a pretty good story. And so the early days of Pitchfork, and they're just starting to really shoot up. And we're down at Austin City Limits. And what was that owner? The guy who started it, the main dude.
I don't remember.
Whatever his name is, and his two cronies. And they're at this party, and again, things I got to do because of GBV, right?
Sure.
Just being around.
Yeah.
And so it's this big wig party at Austin City Limits, and they're there, and we get to talk. I'm like, oh, and I had early days of Fading Captain series. I was sending the CDs for review, okay, and communicating with them via email, and so they had given some good reviews, but then they had said he should go back to teaching.
Wow. Really?
Yeah.
So was this like Speak Kindly, or
it was kind of it maybe in that area,
which is a great record.
right. And I just it's just stupid. Anyway, so I said, listen, you don't have to like it. I mean, you don't. But what you can't be is disrespectful.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't be. And they're like, well, we are called Pitchfork. I'm like, yeah. So, but there are what I don't understand right now is that there is something incredible going on for a man who's in his 60s, right? Who continues to put out, and there's heavy stuff and complicated stuff and proggy stuff, and who wants to go hunting, and Sons of the Beard, and all of the Alex Bell, these incredible songs, and it seems to be half a shoulder shrug because they're just expecting. It's like LeBron right now.
Yeah.
He can have a triple double. Average. Well, that's LeBron. And so that's what I get, I guess, a little frustrated about.
I hear you.
Right, that cliche.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
No more. Right.
Yeah. Like that's all. I mean,
and that's it.
not enough.
That's what I'm here for. He can do whatever. We're the most independent indie label.
It's amazing
in the world.
The whole thing is amazing.
He gets to do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
Right. And he knows.
Dan and I were talking about that earlier. I just said that's one of the most remarkable things about what he has done. Is he clogging up pressing plants like Adele? No. But he's created a world in which he can freely create art, release it when he wants, how he wants, whenever he wants. That's pretty amazing.
If you're an artist,
like,
what else do you want?
What else could you want?
As much or as little as you want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I don't know if you're willing to answer these or not.
Go.
But I'm giving you a scale.
Okay.
Only because I know being on this side, having the opportunity to talk to you, there are several records. You've already mentioned, The Cube, right? Is that was the working name?
The Cube.
The Cube. So I'm going to give you an out on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being probably not, 5 being not sure, maybe 10 being yes, this is happening. So you have a scale of things.
Okay, but part of that scale needs to be one that says, I no longer predict the future decisions of Robert Pollard.
I think
remember that one?
I know, but
what's that? 11? We'll make that 11.
This isn't new stuff. This is reissue stuff.
No, I understand where you're going. I figured out where you're going.
And I think that there's probably a couple because you said that they're like Matador still owns
Matador and Scat. Yeah,
Matador, Scat, TVT.
No longer. I don't think TVT. It's Orchard bought TVT's catalog, and I think there's some that there's kind of they're legal stuff. I'm not exactly sure where things are, but there's also something new that says after 35 years you can
Oh, really?
So
it'll revert.
Who knows?
Yeah, Earthquake Glue reissue.
It already was.
And Yeah, help me here. What it was reissued?
No, Isolation Drills was. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was
That's
like
Earthquake Glue is not. That is I have no idea. That's not us.
Keen Brothers.
It's been asked multiple times.
I'm telling you, there's a market for it.
It's good.
I know 11. I no longer predict the future. Decisions
don't argue. You're asking questions.
I know.
Yeah.
Boston Spaceships, in particular, Let It Beard, and because I think you maybe mentioned that in the interview.
Yeah, it's been discussed. The issue becomes how do you prioritize? Because you can go down the list. Let It Beard, absolutely. Keen Brothers has been requested a bunch.
Brown Submarine, probably.
But here's the other thing that is, it's very hard to predict how many people want the second pressing who have the first. Okay. So like Kid Marine and we did, Waved Out and that kind of stuff is like, okay, I don't know. I know something new that hasn't been on vinyl.
Yeah.
Well, I can, almost predict it by, within the tens.
Yes.
When you get to that kind of stuff, it's a lot more difficult.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Then the last couple, like Fiction Man, Sunfish, Holy Breakfast. Those are same kind of. They're all sort of in the same arena, basically. Like the unknown is.
Yeah, because when you do the math, it's 70 records we could probably repress.
Yeah.
So how do you pick?
Yeah.
So when I'd say it tongue in cheek, but there may be a moment when Bob listens to one of them or something occurs and he wants to do it, and if he does, then we'll do it, right?
Yeah.
But just to do it from a business or financial as the reason,
sure.
Hey, we can repress this and we can make that will never that won't be a part of the equation, right? It's going to be because either there's enough demand and he wants to do it, or he wants to do it.
Okay,
yeah,
fair enough.
So
I had to ask since I had to.
Of course.
Yeah.
No, I get it. Yeah.
So my question is, after this long 25 years of doing this label, and you can hear it in your voice and the passion you have, talking about the label, it's like, wow, what keeps you going in that passion for this label? It sounds like it's friendship.
Have you heard Thick, Rich, and Delicious?
It's great.
Keep turning that stuff out. It's
I
like,
know.
how do you not want
But
to...
I know you have a family. You know what I mean? You've been in this a long time, this game.
So Mike has said famously, I don't have to do this, or we don't have to do this. We get to do this.
Yeah.
Right? And not a release or a week goes by when we're down there and it's dark as shit, Dayton winter. I was just there before I came here, and there were some orders that needed to get shipped. There's never that moment. And so, for me, I don't need to remind myself. There's a joy to it that,
awesome.
Not to get too, spiritual about it, but there's a side of it of serving, right? The fans and Bob and the band. And if I can help facilitate the art that I love, right? Then absolutely.
Yeah.
And if I'm trusted enough to continue to do that for Bob and the band, then I take that as a great honor, right?
Yeah.
So, and then I get to hear him do the vocals on Saturday and hear these songs. I don't listen to the demos. Like I like to get the thing, but I hadn't listened to do vocals in a while. And so I went down there and just listening to him and watching him work and create and how he pulls people in and includes them and how he communicates to Travis, and Travis and him have an unspoken thing. He knows what he wants. And then Bobby's there, and Bobby Bear Jr.'s, like sitting there singing, and he's like, "Hey, what about?" And he's like, "No." He's like, "Dude, yeah, right." And he'll like watching that. He has joy creating it, right? And so when you're around that, it's hard not to have the passion to support that, right? And I get to be a part of the creation of a thing that I absolutely love. They're still my favorite band, right? By far. And so I don't take that for granted, and I don't. I do think about it, and it always brings me happiness, right?
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What would you tell your high school self that you know now about everything going on in your life?
My great regret and frustration. I have a pretty logical brain.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot see chords on a guitar.
Really?
I've tried to play guitar, but I would tell my high school self, get through that initial shit and learn how to play guitar piano, because you could potentially be playing something. Hey, Matt, play this part right here. You know? No, I have bad dreams every once in a while where Bob goes, "Hey, Matt, get that guitar, right? Just, the chords, just play. It's just rhythm guitar. It's just to play the chords." And it's a bad dream, and I don't know how to do it. And I know every song. I know exactly how it goes, but I can't see it. It's like I wake up in a sweat. Yeah. What I would tell that Matt Davis is when you do things for the right reasons, then good things happen.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what I've consistently seen. Like, I've never, there's always a financial side to the business, right? Of course.
Right.
Right. But, luckily there's a lot, there's so much other reward rather we know money doesn't,
Yeah.
Yep.
And we're profitable. We're always fine, right?
Yep.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying the joy of being around it and watching it, and everything that I've got to experience, and all the people that I've met because of Bob and GBV, right? And we got to, my wife and my kids got to tour the White House when Jay Carney was Obama's press secretary. He's a huge fan.
Yeah.
He's like, "Yeah, come out." He's like, "Come out," right? He's like, "Anybody in the band?" I'm like, "Hey," and he's like, "Yeah, Matt."
I'm
he's
in
like,
the band.
"Yeah, we got to go in the Oval Office."
Wow.
Okay, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
there's people that have all the money, right? It has nothing to do with how that came about.
Yeah.
And then non-fame, just my friends, right? So he went up to Chicago this past weekend. He's been battling cancer, and he's able to kind of travel and do some things. And he's unfortunately a Browns fan, but we have friends up in Chicago. Matt Hickey and the guys from the Textbook Committee, who were the original kind of GBV cover band that played Heat Fest back in the day, and they still have a band today. And they're like, "Yeah, come up. We have season tickets," and we got two others right behind it. And so Mike and Shawn Hunter, another friend of ours that I met because of the band, they went up to Chicago, and they're hanging out with them. And, you watch these connections, and then I've got, I can go to how many cities I can't count. And it's somebody that I am friends with because of the band that would, "Hey, no, we'll meet you out for a beer," right? You can't, I don't know how that doesn't happen without Guided by Voices.
Oh, no.
Right? My life, I don't meet my wife if it's not for Guided by Voices.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
How'd you meet your wife?
So the Old Southern Belle.
Yeah.
Oh, man, my
Loved it.
favorite.
Yeah.
The greatest bar. Hey, listen,
is.
the smoke at the end of the night. I got a duck to see you because the smoke is so bad, right? And you've got the preppy kids from UD,
right?
You got the local drunks, you got
Punks.
the bikers, you got punk rockers.
Yeah.
You have and I never saw a fight in there, and all the times we were down there,
Old
arguments
grumpy-ass,
about
old-
grumpy, the bartenders,
Right.
She was a trip.
she's like, and so my wife was on a blind date with another guy, and I was down there with my friend. I had a bad breakup, and we're shooting pool. I'm getting drunk, and then my song, they were playing shitty country, and my song finally came on the jukebox, and I start playing air guitar in a pool cue like an idiot, right? I'm like, it's Black Sabbath, and I'm like, "Fuck yeah.
Wait, what's your wife's name?
Missy.
Okay, well, now was it her?
No. So she's on a blind date with another guy. And she starts laughing at me, and so we go up to the bar and we're talking, and then my buddy leaves, and I'm playing pool against her blind date, and I turn around and we're talking about music, and I said, "Have you ever heard of Guided by Voices?" And she's like, "I love My Valuable Hunting Knife," and I went,
Oh,
and I'm like, "You want to go out sometime?" And she said, "This is the cheesiest thing I've ever done, but okay."
wow.
The next day I called her, and it was like, they're like, "Hey," at work, and "Hey, Missy, Matt's on line 1. Hey, Missy, Dane's on line 2, her blind date." And she picked up my call.
Oh, that's
nice.
Been together 30 years almost now.
That's
Nice.
amazing.
Beautiful.
GBV, baby.
That's right. That's right. So there you go. My life would be some completely different thing.
Wow.
Right? Yeah.
Man,
That's
I love
amazing.
that bar.
Yeah.
We shoot pool in there all the time.
Yeah.
Great location.
Well, it was the greatest if you like leisure sports, right? Because you could do the bowling first, and then the foosball, and then darts,
Yeah.
and then pool,
And then
and
go
then
to,
pinball, and they had a pinball machine too. Right?
go to
Yeah.
the park across the street and piss in the
Yeah.
park.
Yeah, that's right. Piss in the park.
I don't think that's part of the
I
experience.
bet
It
the
doesn't
neighbors
have to be.
hated that place.
That was after one night in there. That was the first time I ever smoked pot. Remember that?
Yeah.
We went next door.
Are we in confession mode here? What
Sorry.
are we doing?
Sorry, Father.
You guys
I have
need to do an episode where you bring in a bunch, like everybody talk about like just for 10 minutes a piece and all funny old stories
yeah.
from the hills
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
the old bell,
Yeah.
right? And what was another one?
Well, tanks. We
Tanks.
had some.
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
man.
Rest in peace, Tanks.
We have a good friend who got kicked out for life, and he came back in like 10 years later. And Tank was sitting at the bar. He goes, "You out now!" He recognized him.
So my buddy Jeff Champagne, again a big GBV fan as well, went to New York with us that first those shows, and he did the Around the World challenge.
Oh, yeah.
Back when craft beer really wasn't a thing.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like, and he's drinking elephant malt liquor and all the shitty ones.
Like
Right.
Bass
Oh
and
yeah,
Guinness,
yeah.
pretty much.
But he went around the world to get the damn shirt. He went back. He's like, "Hey, dude, we got to we get in the car and like, where are we going?" I got to go down to Tanks. I'm like, "Dude, they're not going to have the shirt." Every time we go, they know. "Oh, hey, we're out of them. We got to. They're on order." Like you get him in 3 days down the street. He never had you. No matter how long. I don't know that he ever got his shirt from Tanks.
That's why they
Still
closed.
That's right.
pissed. They owe people so many shirts.
That's awesome.
The class action lawsuit.
I want my shirt.
Take is done. Matt, we appreciate
Yeah,
you.
thanks for
long,
coming on.
long live Rockathon. And
Thank you guys. It was great.
Yes.
And if
Appreciate
you ever
your
need
time.
help, let us know.
Yes. So we appreciate your time. It's great to chat with you, and thank you for joining us, boys. Anything else?
No, thank you so
This
much.
has been
It's been awesome.
amazing.
Great. It's
Yeah.
great
fun.
That's
conversation.
great, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks
a
a lot.
lot. You'll have to come down and visit sometime.
Yes.
To
Have
see
us
it.
down.
That would be awesome.
That'd be great.
Thanks,
Cool.
Matt.
Thanks.
Thanks.
If you want to start